Hi, good afternoon, everyone. So in the last class, we have started discussing about some of the keywords in Java programming language. And we have seen what are the different keywords which are present in Java programming language. And at the same time, we have gone through certain important keywords. For example, we have started discussing about this keyword, right? We have started discussing about this keyword. So for this keyword, we have seen mainly three things for this keyword. So the first one is this can be used to refer the current class instance variables. This is what we have seen in the last class. So now in today's class, we are going to discuss about how this keyword is used to call the current class methods, and at the same time how this keyword is used to invoke the current class constructor. So still, if there is time, we can go for the next keyword. So before that, let us start the things with this keyword. So here, let us see how this keyword is used to invoke the current class methods. Right, this is where we have stopped the last class. So here in the last class, we have studied that these variables are called as instance variables, and these are called as parameters. If both are same, if instance variables and parameters are with the same names, then in order to tell the compiler that a particular variable is instance variable, we use this keyword. So now for example, let us assume there are two methods. For example, void m, right? And there is one more method called as something called as void m1, right? So this method is going to print something called as good morning on the output screen. And similarly, the second method is going to print good evening. Okay, so for example, I have declared these two methods inside class A. Now in class Z, I have written the main method of Java programming language. So here, if I have created an object for class A, right, with this object, I can access the methods m and m1. So let us say I want to access the method m. So I can give obj.m, or if I want to access the method m1, I can simply give obj.m1, right? So if I write the statement like this, so this particular statement will execute the method m and it will print good morning on the output screen. So here my aim is I only call one method here, but the same by calling that method, I want to execute both these methods. How I can do this is simply, if I have used this dot m1, if I have used this dot m1 here, so what this particular statement will do is this particular statement will execute the method m1 which was present in this class, right? So this dot m1 will refers to the current class method, right? So Let us compile the code. Just a second. Right, let us compile the code first. So the compilation is successful. Now run the code. So if I run the code, if you observe that first output of the program is good evening, and then it has printed good morning. So how it is possible in the sense, here we have created an object for class A, and then we have called the method m. So the method m, which was present in class A, will start executing. So whenever the method m is going to be executed, then the first statement inside the method m is this dot m1, which means, so the method m1 which was present in this class will starts executing. So the control will shifts from this particular point to this particular point. So whenever the m1 method is executed, then it is going to print good evening on the output screen, right? Good evening on the output screen. And then after the execution of this m1 method, the control will again return to the next statement inside the method m. So then good morning will be printed on the output screen, right? So this is how we can access, or we can invoke, or we can call one method when you are executing another method by using this keyword, right? So for example, let us consider there is a one more class here. The class name is B, right? Class name is B, and if A is a subclass of B, right? A is a subclass of B. If I have one more method M1, right? One more method M1 in class B, right? One more method M1 in class B. Now let us consider it will print good on the output screen, right? So instead of using this keyword, if I use super keyword here, right? If I use super keyword, it will execute the method which was present in super class. So you can see here. So this particular super dot m1 will execute the method m1 which was present in the super class. That is why it has printed good on the output screen, right? So after executing the m1 method which was present in class B, again the control will return to the next statement of the calling method. So it is printing good morning on the output screen, right? So if you use super keyword, then super class method will be called, or if you use this keyword, then the present class method will be called. So that is the second point, right? That is the second use of this keyword, right? So till now we have completed two things. We have seen how to access the current class instance variables and how to invoke the current class method. Now let us see how we can invoke the current class constructor by using this keyword. So here, see here, let us define a constructor first, right? Let us define a constructor. So let us consider there is a class A here. Let us consider there is class A. So inside class A, if you want to declare a constructor, we need to declare it with same name as a class name, and the constructor should not have any return type. So let us assume this constructor will print, this particular constructor will print CSC on the output screen. And similarly, if I have one more constructor, for example, this constructor is going to take one integer value as a parameter. So we all know the concept here. There are two constructors, constructor A and constructor A of int A. If there are two constructors inside the same class with a different parameter profile, then it is called as overloading of constructors, right? So here I have overloaded the constructor. Now this constructor is going to print triply on the output screen, right? So now if I have created an object, then this particular statement is going to execute this particular constructor. When this constructor is executed, CSC will be printed on the output screen. Or in case, if I have passed, for example, if I have passed any one integer value here, then automatically compiler is going to execute this constructor, right? This constructor, then triply will be printed on the output screen. So if I want to execute a constructor with 0 parameters, then here there is no need to pass any integer value. Or if I want to execute the constructor with one integer parameter, then I have to pass any one integer value here. So now I want to execute both these constructors. I want to execute both these constructors, or I want to print CSC and triply on the output screen by just creating one object. So if I have created another object, for example, obj1 equal to new a of something called as some integer value 10, right? So here I have created two objects. The first object will execute this one, the constructor with 0 parameters, and the next object will execute the constructor with 1 parameter. Now my aim is I want to execute both these constructors. I want to print CSC, and at the same time I want to print triply on the output screen by just creating only one object. So if I delete this one, if I execute this program, only it will print CS. For example, here, let us see the output of the code first, and then we can make the changes in the program. So there are no errors. So now, if you observe, it has printed right. It has printed CSC on the output screen because we have created an object of right. We have created an object for a constructor with 0 parameters. Now, if I want to execute the second constructor which was present in this class, simply by passing this, right, this off. So if I want to execute the second constructor, I have to pass an integer value. So simply pass an integer value here, so that this keyword is going to execute the another constructor which is going to take one integer value as a parameter. So let us save the code, compile the code. Now run the code. So you can observe here, if I run the code, it has printed, both triply and CSC over the output screen. You can observe here, I have created only one object. So whenever the object is created, automatically the compiler will start executing this constructor which is having 0 parameters, because I don't pass any parameters here. So automatically a constructor with 0 parameters will start executing. So whenever this constructor with 0 parameters starts executing, the first statement inside this constructor is this of 10, which means we want the compiler to execute one more constructor which was present in this class, which is going to take one integer value as a parameter. So if you observe, there is one constructor with one which is going to take one integer value as a parameter, that is a of int a. If this was executed, then triple E is going to be printed on the output screen. After the execution of this particular constructor, again the control will return to the next statement of the calling constructor. So if the next statement is executed, it is going to be printed. CSC is going to be printed on the output screen. That is why we got both triple E and CSC over the output screen. So let us see if I have called the constructor with integer parameter, then let us see what will happen here. Save the code, compile, and now run the code. So it has printed only triple E over the output screen, because here if I pass an integer value, then automatically compiler is going to execute a constructor which is going to take one integer parameter. If this constructor is execution starts, inside the constructor there is only one statement which will print triple E on the output screen. That is why it has printed triple E on the output screen, right? So what I have to do, if I want to execute, right, what I want to do, if I want to execute both the constructors with this object, what I have to do here is just shift this keyboard to here, right? Shift this keyboard to here, but if you observe, there is one more constructor which is going to take nothing. So here, just remove this integer value, so that the constructor which is going to take 0 parameters will going to be will gets executed. Save the code, compile, and run. So if I run the code, you can see here it has printed CSC and followed by triple E over the output screen, right? So here when I have created an object by passing an integer value, compiler is going to execute this particular constructor which is having one integer parameter. When this integer parameter constructor starts execution, the first statement inside the constructor is this keyword which is having 0 parameters, which tells the compiler to execute another constructor which was present in the class which is going to take 0 parameters. So the constructor with 0 parameters is A, and it is going to print CSC over the output screen. That's why we have got CSC on the output screen. After the successful execution of this constructor, control is going to return to the next line of the calling constructor. So then this calling constructor is going to print triple E on the output screen. So this is how the execution process will take place, right? So here, let us have one more method, one more constructor. So this constructor is going to take two parameters, for example, int a, comma, int b, right, int b. So what this constructor is going to do is, this constructor is going to print something called as Java on the output screen, right, Java on the output screen. So here, uh, let us assume I have another this keyword here, and here also I have another this keyword, right, this keyboard. So I want to create an object without passing any parameter. So automatically compiler will execute this constructor. So from this constructor, I want to call the integer constructor, right? So if I write this of 10, then second constructor will get executed. Here if I write this dot 10 of 20, then it will execute the third constructor. And inside the third constructor, if I have maintained this keyword, again it will return to the first constructor or not. Let us see the things. Copy, sorry, save, compile. So here you can see if you wrote like this, we are getting an compiled an error which is saying that recursive constructor invocation, which means we have written a code which will never end, which where the loop will never end. See here we have created an object of class A, right? Object of class A, which means this compiler is going to execute this particular constructor. So from that constructor, so the execution will start from this constructor. From this constructor, inside the constructor, we have this of 10, which means this particular keyword will tell the compiler to execute another constructor, which is going to take one integer value as a parameter. So if you observe the remaining part of the program, there are two constructors. One constructor will take one integer value and the another constructor will take two integer values. So immediately the control will shift to the next constructor, which is going to take one integer parameter. So it will start, compiler will start executing this one. So if it starts executing this one, immediately inside there is one more statement called as this of 10 comma 20. So immediately compiler will start executing this one, that is a of int a comma int b. So when it was when the execution was started inside this constructor, then immediately there is one more keyword called as this, which is going to take 0 parameters. Then immediately control will return to the first constructor. Again it will go to the second constructor, again it will go to the third, and again it will go to the first constructor. So if you write code like this, right, which means we are making a recursive construct, right? We are making a recursion in calling of constructors. So it is not allowed in programming languages, right? So if you remove this one, which means the first constructor will get executed, followed by the next one, followed by the next one. After the printing of Java over the output screen, then Triply will be printed on the output screen, and then CSC will be printed on the output screen. So just compile the code now. So if I compile the code now, it was successfully compiled. If I run the code, if you observe, first Java is printed and then Triply and then CSC. So this constructor is going to execute first. Inside the constructor, we have called the next constructor, and inside the next second constructor, we have called the third constructor. If the third constructor is executed, it is going to print Java on the output screen, and then the control will return to the next line of the calling constructor. So it will print Triply, and again the control will return to the next line of the calling constructor. Then it will print CSC on the output screen. So this is how the execution will be done. And similarly, remember one more point. If you want to write this keyword, you have to maintain the this keyword as a first statement inside the constructor, right? So you are not allowed to write the this keyword in any other parts of the body. So try this one. Let us compile this one. So you can see here, there is one error at line number 7, which is stating that call to this must be the first statement in a constructor. So what the compiler is telling that if you want to use this keyword, right, please make it as a first statement inside the constructor, and don't write the this keyword in any other part of the body of the constructor, right? So we have studied this point while discussing about super keyword also. So if you want to write the super keyword, right, you have to write the super keyword as a first statement inside the constructor. So now my question is, if I want to include both super keyword and this keyword inside the constructor, then how it is possible? How it is possible, without getting any compile time error? Here, if you want to write this keyword inside the constructor, we have to write it as a first statement. If you want to write super keyword inside a constructor, you have to write it as a first statement. Now, if you compile this one, you will get an error. Because if you observe, this keyword is the second statement inside the constructor. So we are getting an error called to the this must be as a first statement inside the constructor. Now, let us exchange these two. Write the this keyword as a first statement because the compiler suggested me to make this keyword as a first statement inside the constructor. So I'm making this keyword as a first statement inside the constructor. Now if I compile this one, you can see here again compiler is suggesting me to make the super keyword as a first statement inside the constructor, right? So it is not possible to use both the keywords at a time inside the constructor, right? If you want to call the present class constructor, use this keyword, or if you want to call the super class constructor, use super keyword, right? At the same time, we cannot use both super and this keyword inside the constructor, right? So right, next one. So till now, we have completed how to refer the instance variables, how to call the another method inside the same class, how to call another constructor by being inside the same class, right? So, and then see the remaining points. This can be passed as an argument in method call. So when we are calling a method, right, when we are calling a method, we can pass this keyword as an parameter, right? So the meaning of this one is, so if I want to call a, simply I can pass a of this, right? So this keyword can be passed as a parameter during method calling, and at the same time, next one, this can be passed as argument in the constructor calling. What we have done here, a is a constructor, and we have passed this as an parameter while calling this constructor a, right? We can pass this keyword to a method, or we can pass this keyword to a constructor call, and at the same time this can be used to return the current class instance from the method. So if you want to return the current class instance, then use this keyword, right? And finally we can conclude this one with, there can be a lot of usage of this keyword in Java. So this is available that refers to the current object. If you want to refer the current object content, if you want to refer the current class instance variables, if you want to refer the current class methods, if you want to refer the current class constructors, then use this keyword. So finally keep this point in your mind. If you want to refer the current class variables, current class methods, or current class constructors, go for this keyword, right? Hope you all understand this session, and we will meet you in the next session with the next keyword, right? Obviously the next keyword will be the static keyword. We will explain what is static keyword and what are the uses of static keyword in the next class. And I really thank each and every listener of this video, and if you have any doubts regarding this video, you can place the comments in the comment box of the